This episode of the Siam Hockey League News is brought to you by the Big Chili Magazine, where in this issue there is a profile of a former Patna International School student that is a wake skater that has inspired Thailand's love of imported beers with hobs on Tunglor, and his name is Chris Fu. So we've just finished off week 5, and the first game was really good, I felt. We'll talk more about the second game later, but...
No, as we were talking about just before we started recording, this was the best game I personally have seen that Siam Mandalay has played all season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Absolutely.
It was really welcome to watch because we've discussed each week how every team really is making strides.
Yes.
The unfortunate part from the bottom half of the league is, in spite of their strides, those top teams are just remaining a little bit stronger in certain areas of the game, whether it might be offense, defense, goaltending.
Yeah.
So,
power plays, penalty kills, so, I mean...
But CM, I give you, and Jordan Ashton, captain, a ton of credit for your improvements in this game, and we'll talk some more about the future later, but this game specifically, what a start. Yeah. Less than a few minutes into the game, Turner Johnson with a great goal. Yeah. So set up excellently by defenseman Alex
Phelps, who... I'll tell you what, since Alex has been in the league, he's not up there a lot in points with everybody else, but he's a very consistent player. He's always in the play. He's breaking up the plays in the defensive end, and he can rush the puck. It's great to see him get points on the board, so. I
completely agree with you. I've said his name so many times on the broadcast because he's involved in a lot of different aspects of the game.
Yeah. So it's really good. So, and then we hit the second period.
Well, back up a little bit.
Okay. Sure.
Alex did a great job setting up from behind the net for Turner. Turner, in the great positioning in the slot, was able to put it through it, so that was really great. Yeah. And as the period continues, this is Novotel, who's league leader, undefeated on the season coming in, and it's a little surprising, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely it is. I mean, they don't get a point in the first period.
Which for one of the top offenses in the league, I think they might be leader of point scored. I think so. KCG might have overtaken them in this game. But anyway, coming into this game, one of the top offenses in the league, undefeated on the season, and CM's defense having the return of Mike Wilson and Yean, who were missing the previous week. Clearly, I feel like their presence was felt.
Oh, definitely. I would say their presence was felt defensively and offensively. You know what I mean? So, when Mike stays out of the penalty box, he is one of the best defensemen in the league, 100%. And the reason I say when he stays out of the penalty box, because when he's in the penalty box, you can't contribute. You know what I mean? So it's just...
And plus, you get that aspect for some players where they're, as we talk about with certain other players in the league, they let things out of their control take away their game. Yeah. Right? They get emotional or they get fired up, and it can be positive, it can be negative, right? Emotions are how we live in this world, right? How we play this game, right? And it can help you if you get fired up and you get your team fired up in the right way.
In the right way, yeah. Right? But sometimes they bring the team down. But anyway.
But this was a lot of fun. On the opposite side, for Novotel, as we talked about, struggling to get a little bit of offense together, Jason Bitter took a couple penalties. Yep.
Right at the end of the period. Well, the second one was right at the end of the period, but
CM using their power play, I thought this is some of the best I've seen CM play offensively all season. Yeah. Really good puck possession hockey. They made an effort to try and not do a lot of too many stretch passes or go too quickly. Not a lot of guys trying to deke around other players. They just tried to maintain possession, or they'd try and dump and chase. And using that effective offense, you keep the puck out of Novotel's hands, I feel like, and help stop their offense from getting productive. And then, of course, Better's penalties, and they get some more opportunities on the power play.
Yeah, but you have to give CM credit. You have to give Novotel credit because not only have they been good on the power play, this has shown that they're doing well in the penalty kill as well.
Totally agree. I agree with that. So after that first period of exciting action, the second penalty to Bitter goes over into the start of the second. And this was a beautiful rush.
The whole play from they dump the puck into CM's end, which and when you're on the penalty kill, that's what you want to do.
Exactly.
Yean picks it up, skates up the far boards, hits Turner with a beautiful pass, who in turn goes from, instead of going north to south, he goes east to west, draws two players to him.
And then a excellent backhanded pass, which eventually won our Jerky Monster Player of the Week for the quality of this play, to captain Jordan Ashton, coming into that left-hand side face-off circle near the high slot. This has been a killer spot the whole season for goals scored.
Yes.
And he executed the play at the end. From tape to tape, from one end of the ice to the other, a beautiful team play by Siam Mandalay.
It was so much fun to watch. I even went back and watched it just to make sure I saw what I saw. And it was great. I mean, Yean coming up through into the neutral zone, hits Turner, and Turner, he turns, and like I said, he went east to west and drew, which is terrible. This is one of the times that Novotel was not so good on their penalty kill, drawing 2 players to him. Turner splits him with the pass, hits Jordan. Captain puts it in the net. Beautiful play.
And just like that, in the starting moments of the second period, Novotel, undefeated on the season, is facing a 2-0 deficit.
Yeah,
it's shocking. To their credit, especially to goaltender Ben Kleineschay.
Yeah.
Who played excellently through the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
They slowly, though, start to try and turn the tide.
Mm-hmm. They did.
There was another penalty in this period, and again, good opportunities on the power play for CM, but the penalty kill this time comes through.
That's right. They stayed in their box. They didn't collapse in on themselves. They weren't chasing the puck.
They slowly, their top players, Mike Freeson, Ken Kindborn, down the list, the depth
Tomas
on that
Stastny.
team, Stastny, Mangkorn, and major Thai players, the defensive part of that team slowly starts to come forward. Jason Bitter on the opposite end on a power play, looking for some retribution, had an excellent opportunity. I talked to him about it at the game. He was standing in the slot on a rebound, was trying to tap it in, but just couldn't get it with his stick, kind of handcuffed him. He said he couldn't get his stick in the right positioning. But slowly but surely, Novotel tries to get back in this game, but fruitless second period. It's now into the third period, still 2-0, the worst lead in hockey. Because eventually, announcers curse. I'm talking about how Dream is playing excellently.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to break through. It's getting into the final minutes of the third period, and
yeah. Well, you hit 9:48, and then you've got Stastny, who hits Ken, who hits Captain Freeson, starts things off with a beautiful goal. So,
what can you say about Novotel's top players? I was talking before the game with Captain Mike Freeson and the other players about what do you guys do to be successful? And he's like, we support our goaltender, right? We try and do the little things. We collapse sometimes on the defense. When we get plays moving out, we try and support each other. And
the biggest thing I think that they do, and they've done this especially the last 3 weeks in a row, is they never quit.
100%.
With just over 2 minutes left in the game, Ken ties things up.
The top point getter in the league was not going to go away pointless in this game.
No,
I don't think
agree.
he's had a single game this season where he hasn't earned. I could be wrong. I have to check the stats.
There's been a game or two where he hasn't gotten a point.
Okay,
but
his presence is felt every.
His presence is definitely felt.
felt.
And then we're thinking, oh, it's gonna go into overtime, and 10 seconds left. Mangkorn to Freeson for the my God, game-winning goal! And it was unbelievable.
10 seconds left in the game.
So the last 3 games, less than a minute left in the game.
Stastny, Ken Kindborn,
Freeson. There is no die in the Spitfires. And it's like, they just never quit. And I talked to Freeson after the game, and it was like, and he wasn't the player of the game, but he could have been, should have been.
Yeah.
But it was decided, a good decision that Ben was given the player of the game. But I talked to Freeson after the game, and he was like, our objective is just to score more goals than the other team. Doesn't have to be 2, doesn't have to be 5. It just has to be 1.
It's true. It doesn't matter what the margin of victory is.
That's
All
right.
that matters is the victory.
The victory. And
continuing an unbeaten streak.
5 games. It's
and you were saying, arguably Mike could have won. 2 goals scored, including the game-winning goal in the dying seconds of the game.
Yeah.
I felt also, though, deservedly so, Ben Kleineschay.
Oh,
29
absolutely.
shots against, 27 saves, especially after that 2-0 deficit that he faced starting the second period. Just keeps his team in the game.
And he just shut everything down from that point. And it was like, well, it was absolutely well deserved. And again, he's another one of those goaltenders that is very humble. Wanted the player of the game to go to somebody else, but he deserved it. He absolutely did deserve it. So
the goaltending on both sides of this game was excellent. Dream played very, very well. That spot, though, the left circle, it's just a killer for a lot of different goaltenders. It's tough to get that blocker up, depending on your handedness, right? Some are left-handed, or right-handed. But it's tough to get that blocker up. And it's been a killer over the shoulders of goaltenders all season.
It has, definitely. But so it was a tough one for Siam, but
Man.
I think
what a way to end the game.
Yeah, 10 seconds left. It was like they took the air right out of their sails. You could feel it on the ice. It was just like they were just kind of like.
It's a heartbreaker, And again, how did we start the broadcast? I wanted to point out how well CM played in this game.
Yeah,
it was beautiful
definitely.
Hockey to watch.
It was a lot of fun. I was a lot of back and forth play. Just CM just couldn't hold on. It's hard to hold on against guys like Kindborn, Stastny, and Freeson.
We've talked about this before. When you shut one of those guys down, the depth on that team, top to bottom, everybody can contribute. You got grinders on that team like Bitter, who was inches, away from scoring a goal himself in this game.
Yep.
You've got Seb Verde, plays really well each week. He got on the score sheet last week. The quality on that team, both Thai and international
Ralph
players.
Dittmer, Scotty, and all well-rounded players all the way around, and it's hard. You take out Freeson, and you've got somebody who steps up. You take out Ken, you've got somebody who steps up. You take out Snazzy, you've got Stastny, you got somebody who steps up. They've always got somebody. Major, Mangkorn, you've got the fighters in front of the net, and Ed and Bitter, and you've got on defense you have Ralphie.
A lot of quality, and for CM as well. Again. Wonderful game. I feel like your team, top to bottom as well, everybody pretty much played to the best of their ability, I will say.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It was a lot of fun changing the style up a little bit we talked about, not trying to press too much in the game, right?
Making their passes crisp, tape to tape.
So
it was something they hadn't done until this game, so it was nice to see.
And you got a chance coming to pick up another win potentially this week going against Aware. So we'll talk about that coming.
But yeah, our Rolling Stone Pizza Player of the Game, Ben, how do you say his name?
Kleineschay.
Kleineschay, thank you very much. Ben Kleineschay. I'm here with the Rolling Stone Pizza Player of the Game, Ben. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks a lot for having me tonight.
Another game going down to the wire?
Yeah, definitely a close game this day. It was very close. But we pulled through in the third period, right with 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left. I was amazed. I was so blown away.
When they got their second goal, what was going through your head?
I knew that our team was starting to feel more of a connection with each other. We started completing more passes, started making more plays. It just started to look a lot better from there on out. So I'm very happy with how they played today. So.
Excellent. Well, congratulations again.
Yes, thank you very much.
Second game. KCG just going about their business, and I feel like Aware played really well. Lance, to his credit as well, took complete responsibility after the game. He sent me a long message explaining his game plan for what happened this week and what went wrong. Just kind of a couple unlucky bounces. He took himself out of the one play, he said, because he thought it was an offsides. So I feel like it's their first game. You got to get some chemistry with the players. I think it's also potentially a positive where this is the kind of quote-unquote wake-up call.
Yeah. Definitely a wake-up call. Justin, he's won 2 championships, so now that he's with Aware, one of those 2 championships, his team was in last place going into the playoffs. So it's not that he can't do it. It's not that he's not a good captain. He just it's like he needs to figure out what he needs to do to pull his team together. Yeah. And this was, for me, it was really hard to watch this game because I see the talent that they have. I mean, you've got Devin, Tor, Brendan, John, Jaron, Roman, David, Peem, Dennis, Justin, Masato.
Tor, the older. I didn't realize until Scotty told me, like, this is some 30-something-year-old guy, but he's played in Thai hockey for years.
Yeah,
you could
absolutely.
Really see. He's like a Johnny Oduya type player, and I say that because, like, he's older now because he got some experience with the Senators. Yep. Right? He learns how to play the game. What do you have to do to be successful? What can my body do, right? Yeah. He's not going to try and really quickly rush the puck and get around younger players.
No, but he can if he needs to.
But he picks his opportunities at that point.
Right? Absolutely.
He's going to make a smart play. We can talk about it.
Yeah. So it's like, it's really just, I'm looking at this team, and it was so difficult for me because they have a solid team all the way around. Their biggest problem is they're not playing as a team. I'm looking at the captain, and Justin has brought his teams together in the championships. But you look at this team, you've got Lance in the net, who, when he's on, is one of the best goaltenders in the league. You've got Devin Michael, who consistently is a solid player, game in, game out. You've got Tor, who's been in hockey for years. You've got Brendan Vick, you've got John Sheknovsky, Jaron Folden, David Bohr, Peem, Jared DePreta, Dennis, Roman Laren, you can't miss Roman, and you've got Dennis, who's new to the league this year, but he's a really solid defenseman who can rush the puck. You've got the captain Justin, you've got Masato,
and Rookie of the Year candidate
Rookie of the Year, Roger Promtong and Arno Vatanabako. You've got a really solid team, and the biggest problem is they're not playing as a team. They get a goal behind, or they get 2 goals behind, especially early goals, and then it's like now everybody wants to do it themselves, and is just,
I feel you, I agree with you.
In hockey, and I will say, when it comes to team sports, and I've been involved in sports almost my whole life. I've played soccer, football for you British people. I've played American football. I haven't played basketball, but I've watched it quite a bit. Baseball. So if you have a star player, your team can do well in all of these other sports. Hockey, if you have a star player, but you need the supporting cast all the time. If you've got a bad goaltender, but you've got a star forward, goals are going to go in. You're going to lose games. If you don't have the defenseman who can break up plays, your goaltender is going to have too many shots, and inevitably goals are going to get in. If you don't have a solid forward team, you're not going to get the shots you need to get the goals in. So
I think it's a fair statement. I don't, I love sports as well. It's tough as well in other sports to have star players break through and have that one person carry an entire team. But I think, to your point, hockey is one of the biggest team sports where you really need a whole cast together to support one another, to play together, and to win. And as you just talked about, you look at that roster top to bottom, everybody, like Novotel, contributes to that team. However, it's becoming, in these games where you start to get 1-2 goals down, instead of a team, to separate pieces. Yeah. You've got somebody who has an incredible talent and speed, is going to rush the puck up the ice and try and deke around 2 players, and it just sometimes doesn't work for you.
Yeah, he'll get past the one, it'll be close on the second one, then there'll be a third one, and he's going to, instead of passing it to the open man, he's going to try and make that third deke.
Or sometimes I feel like you see some teams do an extra pass to another open guy instead of just take the simple play and put a shot on goal. Yep. Especially a team like this, you can get a lot of really good grinding, dirty kind of goals where there's a rebound, there's a deflection, you have things that are going to happen with an odd bounce off the boards. This team can work that way, but you need to put pucks on net.
Yes,
and
you do.
Instead of that, you've got, like we say, individual players trying to do a little bit too much.
Yeah, and or you'll have a line who will try and do too many passes, and by the time you get that 4th pass, you're too deep. You're not going to be able to get that shot on net, so you're not going to be able to get that rebound. So
this was a tough one. You've got one of the best teams in the league, KCG.
Yep.
The one lost to Novotel again. That started this streak of 3 straight games, winning in the third period of tied games.
They started it, yep.
Yeah. So, but they have played. The captain Harrison Ostermel and the rest of that team have played so well each week, in a very similar way to Novotel, where you've got a great team unit where no individual player tries to do too much. They just support the whole cast, and they know, I might not be the guy to end up on the stat sheet tonight, but I'm going to put my other teammates in positions to be successful.
Absolutely, and they're not afraid to back check. This is one of the things that I've really enjoyed watching Novotel and KCG play, how they play. They rush the puck, and they still skate hard, and they back check to get involved, to stay involved in the play at both ends of the rink.
I completely agree. They have a very good, aggressive, collapsing style of defense, where their defensemen and back-checking forward players are going to try and push the play to the sideboard, and the back-checking forwards, as you say, who are coming back hard, who are skating hard after rushing the puck, and then get steals, can then get breakaways and takeaways, and go back again. And they have so much speed on that team, KCG.
Yep.
Their top players can really hurt you when given the opportunity, and you saw that here in the first period.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got you had Winnie with his goal, which was assisted by Time and Andy. So that was a great play right there. But when the play turns around, they come back. They always, or if you've got a defenseman like Andy who rushes the puck up, you've got Jesse who will drop back and play. You've got Harrison who will drop back and play defenseman. They're not afraid. Instead of having 4 or 5 guys deep, they're playing hockey where you've got your 3 guys deep and your defenseman back there, and then the guys will rush back and make those plays also. So
it's good to see. Man, and if you look at the score sheet here, it's marching on slowly but surely. And look, to Aware's credit, I think they also improved in a lot of aspects of their game, but Lance and the team defense just kind of had a tough night. I give Lance a ton of credit as well for taking responsibility after the game. He sent me a personal message and wanted to explain his game plan, what he was trying to do, and what happened on each individual play, and I really appreciate that, Lance. He said, on one of these goals, he kind of took himself out of the play. It hurt offsides, and kind of relaxed for a second, but that wasn't the reality. The ref had not called that play. Somebody else had called it in authoritative voice, and that kind of just took him out of the play for a moment. And he gets the goal scored.
You gotta remain focused, and he missed it that time.
My point is, he takes accountability, takes responsibility, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, and then our second goal, that is just over a minute after the first one. Michael White, great substitute player coming into play, which was assisted by Jan Isaacson. So
slowly but surely, since he has entered the league, I think he's a point per game player, maybe 2 point per game player.
Yeah, a point to 2 points per game. I'd have to go back and look. He's got at least a point and at least 1 point in every game that he's played in. But I'm almost certain he's got 2.
Just tries to contribute.
Yeah,
each
always
and every week.
Another one of those guys that plays both ends of the ice. So,
and right after that, you've got a similar situation because Yari missed the first couple
second
games,
period, yeah,
and he has come back just like Jan, and I pretty much say their name each week that they're contributing in some way. These are players you see who've got some experience playing internationally, who've got some experience playing national team hockey, and they do what they can. They know their bodies. They know what they can be successful at. They don't try and do too much. They put their other players in positions to be successful.
Yeah, they do that. But one of the things about Yari is when he needs to, he can go coast to coast. And I've seen it firsthand because I've played against him. I'm really excited because now I'm going to be playing in a tournament, and he's on my team this time, which is great because I hate defending against him. But yeah, it's... He when he needs to, once or twice a game, he'll go coast to coast, and it's not that he needs to do it. It's not like he's trying to do it himself. He just sees an opening, and he'll go coast to coast, and if he sees a guy that's open, he'll pass the puck. If he doesn't see a guy open, he'll take the shot, and that's what happened in the second period and got the goal with 2 minutes left in the period.
It was Excellent game of hockey played by KCG.
Yeah.
Through the whole entire game, into the third period, Winnie picking up his second
goal of the night. So assisted again by Time and then Mel.
That was an all-time goal. I really liked that call.
Yeah, it was good. It was really watching them break out of the zone and continue through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. It was well structured. So.
And to the final seconds of the game, they never quit.
Yeah.
Again, winding up on the score sheet.
Yean
Isaacson with I think it was a beautiful wraparound goal at the final moments of the game. It kind of surprised Lance. He told me, Lance said, I saw what was happening. I thought I had time. I pushed across, and by the time I got there, it was already in the net.
Yeah. So it's tough, you know. Aware they had a tough draw in this game playing against KCG, I think, but what can you do?
That can hurt you on that team. It's just like Novotel. Okay, stop Captain Harrison Ostamel. Okay, I'm going to give it to my line mate, Jesse Starosta. Okay, stop Jesse Starosta. Now we've picked up Jari Erkainen and Jan Isaacson.
Yep. So
stop them too.
So you got Mel, Winnie.
Or I was going to say, we haven't said his name yet tonight. Player of the game, just because, just like a lot of these other players, I just go about my business. I'm not going to get praise. I'm not going to be flashy. I'm just going to do my job.
And he did it too. I mean, he stopped 28 out of 29 shots. So Leo.
it's and the fact that we haven't said his name this entire time, and he would just be sitting there quietly, respectfully the entire time and saying, "Yep, I just did my job."
Absolutely. Oh, actually, it should have gone to this person. Exactly. You know, I'm just doing my job. You know, Leo's great to interview because he's so humble. Well, everybody's really humble this year. It's fun. I enjoy doing the interviews for the player of the games, and it's sometimes you get the guy who's like, "Yep, I earned that. I should have done it. You know, and you should have given it to me sooner." But you know, a lot of the players this year, they're like, "Hey, you know, it was a team effort. You know, and it's like." It's just fun to see how things have changed throughout the years. So,
I couldn't agree more.
But yeah, so I talked to Leo after the game. I'm here with the Rolling Stone Pizza player of the game, Leo. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, today our teammate scored earlier, so made me relax. So, and this season I play normally I work against each other, the teammate. So it's kind of fun play with them, and on my side, not against me. So yeah, season's still long. It's just about a win. So we try hard and then adjust and then try to beat Novotel because we're gonna play them next. Yeah.
So do you have a game plan for the next game?
Not yet. Try to save a lot and try my best.
Excellent. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you. Thanks.
So our Jerky Monster Play of the Week, as we said earlier, was Turner's pass to Jordan for that goal. He received the pass from Yean, went east to west, drawing two Novotel players to him on a power play. So that takes two guys out of the play, splits them with a pass to Jordan.
Backhand pass to Jordan
Ashton. Beautifully set up.
And executed at the end by Jordan. But a wonderful team play, as we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Turner coming off of his goal in the first period, making his presence felt these last few games, a well-deserved award.
Yeah, definitely. And here's Maddie with that.
What is up, my fellow SHL enthusiasts? This week's Jerky Monster Play of the Week goes to Turner Johnson for his sweet backhand pass, splitting two defensemen over to Jordan Ashton for a power play goal. Great play, and your Jerky Monster is waiting for you with Dom. See you guys next week.
So on November 22nd, in our first game of the night at 9 o'clock, we have Siam Mandalay versus Aware. What does Aware need to do to beat Siam?
Each week, this team just kind of feels like I've said before, a little bit snake-bitten, a little unlucky.
Okay, how do they break it?
They have made strides in every game. And this previous game, first game with Lance, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel personally like this could be a silver lining, a positive. This is a wake-up call, right?
Yep.
Lance is a good player. Mm-hmm. The rest of that team, as we already discussed, is quality players.
Yep.
Put it together as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you individually can, and put your teammates in opportunities to be successful. Puck possession hockey.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Put your teammates in positions to be successful.
So play as a team.
Play as a team.
Play as a team.
But honestly, how many times can we beat a dead horse? You look at every piece of that roster, and there's not a hole in that roster.
No, there's not.
You need to do your job.
Their whole is they're not playing as a team.
Yeah.
So CM is coming off 2 tough losses.
Yeah, on the opposite end, CM.
And they had the lead in the last game. So, and they lost it. Okay. But I think, here we go back to what I've been saying the last few weeks. If Aware can score the first goal, I think they have a chance. They have more than a better chance to beat Siam Mandalay if they score the first goal. If they don't score the first goal, I think they'll go back to what they've been doing. They're going to play individually. If they score the first goal, I think that might turn them around to play as a team.
I agree with you on the one hand, but I'm going to add to that statement. I'm going to say momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So, who gets momentum in this game, and who can hold on to that genie the longest? Because
that's true.
Points are going to be scored.
Yep.
No matter what in this game, these teams are great, and I'm really excited for this matchup, but this is not going to be a 1-0 game, in my opinion. Prove me wrong.
No,
what I mean to say is that who can hold momentum, because you look at CM in the previous game against the top team in the league, and for
2
80%
periods
of this game, I would say 80% of this game, they were in control.
Yep.
And they looked like they were going to hand Novotel their first defeat. They had momentum, but they kind of just slowly let their foot off the gas
in the third period, and
Novotel's
Novotel scored
players,
3 goals.
Okay.
So
can Aware do that? Probably not. At least with the way they're playing right now. They could prove me wrong. They have come back. In the previous week's game, I believe it was, the 4-3 loss, unfortunately, they played well, overall. It was amazing to see how they were able to battle back in the game, tie it, and still unfortunately lose in the final moments of the game.
Yep.
So they can surprise you, but they have to play as a team, right?
And I believe this is their biggest thing, is if they play as a team, they'll be able to compete with KCG and Novotel Spitfires, and they'll be able to beat Siam Mandalay.
I would just say, manage your energy, manage the momentum, right?
Yeah.
Your individual players can step on the gas when they need to, but if you step on the gas and then get into a car accident because you try to do too much by yourself and other players collapse on you and you lose possession of the puck and it goes to the other team and on a comeback, right? Are you going to be skating hard to back check because you're really motivated to play this game? Right?
That's no. So they have a few guys who do it, but again, it needs to be a team effort.
So we'll see what happens. What's your prediction? Aware picking up their first victory or CM picking up their second?
I'm going to stick with the fact that if Aware scores first, they're going to win it. If Aware doesn't score first, they'll lose. My opinion.
I can see the merit of that argument, and I probably would say I agree with you.
Okay.
I want to be unbiased as a play-by-play commentator. I commentate the games every week. I think I'll say that I agree with you, and I'll say the team that score first probably will end up winning this game.
Absolutely.
I will add the additional statement is manage momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Can you manage your energy in this game? Because you see the distance of the ice, you see the size of the rink, and we've talked about it already.
And we're going. This is our 6th week, so the players should be used to this ice by now.
But just again, manage your momentum, manage your energy. Don't individually try and do too much because you're, trying to get back in the game because you're down a goal or whatever it might be. Do what you can, control what you can. You've seen penalties in these games get to the players, whether they feel like, the ref missed the call or they missed the play, so they had to.
That was terrible. You shouldn't have called me for that penalty.
Start pointing fingers, and so. But we'll see. I think I agree with your call. Team that score first probably wins that game, which is a little appetizer for the main course.
Which is KCG versus the Novotel Spitfires.
Oh my God, I'm salivating.
Great. It was the first game was such a great, solid defensive game. Novotel came out on top. What's your prediction for this game?
This one is so tough to call, but I'm so excited to watch it. On paper, you look at this, the two top teams in the league, the only margin of victory, a final minute goal that separates these two teams.
Well, let's look at the goal differential. Novotel is a +7. KCG, +12 goals.
And the biggest thing, because you look at goals for, both teams' offenses are pretty evenly matched.
21 and 22.
Here's where you see the difference, at least on paper, goals against.
14 and 10.
That is just the slimmest of margins between, up until now, the previous combined play of Lance and Ben, now Ben.
Yep.
And Ben 100% received half that credit, 60% of that credit now, and going to continue to receive the total credit. But on KCG's side, as we've said, so humble, so quiet, just I'm going to do my job.
And he does it game in, even in the loss to the Novotel Spitfires. He had a good game.
Yep.
So,
and I think that's the tiniest of edges in this game. I'm going to make the prediction that Novotel loses the victory streak.
Ooh.
The tiniest of margins in this game, because everything else, I mean, look at the paper. Everything else being equal, these are excellent teams. I think Leo pulls it out, and I'll give him the credit in this game. His other, as you say, it has to be a team game, right?
Yeah.
So his offensive players need to play. They need to put points on the board. I can name the half a dozen players who can contribute, right? But we know their names. We know who they are, right? His defense needs to continue to play well, collapse, support him, right? On the Novotel, excellent. They have not lost. Like 3 weeks in a row, final minute. They play to the final whistle every single time.
And that's why I will choose the Spitfires.
Ooh.
Just because even when they're down by 2 goals, they don't quit. They continue to play from whistle to whistle, period to period, start to finish. The last game they won with 10 seconds left in the game.
3 weeks in a row, the left circle final minute, and just show you the quality of depth and the role players that just do their job
every week.
Somebody else in position to be successful, or they themselves, they will be ready when their time is called. That's how they play. And KCG, to their credit, has done that as well, and you can see it reflected in that differential there. It's just the smallest of margins that 1 week, they themselves were the victim of the
So will it be an offensive game or will it be another defensive game?
I'm going to predict a lower scoring game because of the qualities of the goaltender, because of the qualities of the defense.
Yeah.
Taking nothing away from the quality of the offenses on those two teams. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game.
Just like the first game.
Exactly.
I agree.
It's going to be goal different, the total goals scored, let's call it over under 6. I say it's under.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Total goals scored under 6. I'd agree with that. So
probably a 3-2 game.
Unless both goaltenders go home early, I don't see it going over 6. So, but
can't wait.
All right, that's all for this week. We'll see you at the rink.
The opposite was very strong. I was good.
Siam Hockey League News is brought to you by Big Chili Magazine, the best read expat lifestyle and news magazine in Thailand. It covers interesting issues in Bangkok and the region while bringing its readers engaging stories and various exclusive interviews, food reviews, and more. You can find the Big Chili Magazine in bookstores and online at thebigchili.com. The music for the opening and ending credits are brought to you by DJ Caucasian.